friends. I am C.Uniyal, Head Department of Psychology, KTHM College, Nasik. Today we are going to discuss the topic Counseling in the Educational Setting and Career Counseling, which is an important part of this paper, that is Areas of Counseling. Now, as you all know friends, that this paper, Area of Counseling, has been divided into 4 different chapters. And when we look at this paper, we find out that here we are going to study the applications of counseling skill in 4 different areas. Considering our semester 1 paper, that was basic counseling skills, in which we had studied or we had imbibed various counseling skills. But now in this semester, we are going to focus on implementation of these skills in the field. So the first topic, as we all know, is based on the application in the educational setting. Our second topic is related to the workplace setting. Then we have counseling in the clinical setting. And lastly, we have counseling in special situations. So in the first section of counseling in the educational setting and career counseling, we are going to study about school counseling. Here we will be seeing who is a school counselor, what are the roles and responsibilities of a school counselor, and also what is the system of counseling in schools. Then we have counseling for emotionally disturbed, ADHD, and children with LD. So basically we are going to study all about school counseling at different levels in schools. Then we have college and career counseling, and we are also going to study some of the career theories. And lastly, we have campus recruitment and training programs. To begin with the school counseling, let us first see who is a school counselor, what are the roles and responsibilities, and the system of school counseling. But before entering into this sphere of counseling or into this era or area of counseling in the school setting, first let us know something or let us revise something about what exactly counseling is, what is the need of counseling, and what exactly is the importance of counseling. Friends, we have already seen in our previous semester what exactly counseling means or why counseling is important. Now we all know that the quest for happiness and avoidance of pain has been on in everybody's mind from time immemorial. Mankind has always been in search of happiness. Although we all face number of obstacles in our day-to-day life, but each one of us is striving hard to seek some kind of peace and solace in our life. And in order to seek this kind of happiness has emerged the need of counseling. With people's domains widening, work and many other things are expanding, due to which today we find that the need of counseling has become something important. There are various issues related to secrecy, then there are a lot of concerns about privacy. See, each one of us wants some privacy in our life. In different relationships, we have heard people talking about personal space, they need privacy. All such issues are gaining more and more importance, and people have started looking towards professionals to help resolve such kind of problems. Commonly or earlier, the practitioners they counseled people about issues such as anxieties, marriages, careers, raising children, as well as advised people to run their companies, in which there are concerns like how to boost the morale of the workers, how to motivate the workers, try to find solutions for absenteeism and things like that. Later on, there are people or there are certain spiritual gurus, or when we have started talking about spiritual terms, we have seen people talking about meaning of life. And there are a number of people who are working towards self actualization. So these are some practices or there are some ways which have been advised by these gurus for people to find peace in life. All this reflects the need for one person of seeking help or advice from another professionally qualified person. The counselor, somehow by his direct or non-directive guidance, helps the counselee or client to overcome some difficulties in his lifespan. Now, these difficulties can be related to emotions, they can be social issues, they can be related to one's vocation, educational guidance, health related issues, developmental issues, and various organizational concerns. Now, psychology is not a new subject. It is, although it has been practiced as a profession very lately, but still psychology was definitely being practiced in the society even before the science of psychology was developed. In today's world, we find that the life has become very complicated, and today we need some new approaches to experience both for to apply psychology in life. One has to find newer ways and methods. Modern society is also become more complicated due to rapid change. There is lot of technological development. All these changes that we are witnessing in the recent past are seen to represent, and even they have accelerated the speed compared to those of the previous decades. Life today has become very faster. That is, the pace of life itself has increased in the 21st century. Today, what we talk is there is an acceleration rate of the whole global scale. All this talks about the importance of speed in our life, and the newer generation is very curious to learn many new things. There is bombardment of digital media. Then there is a lot of importance given to social media. The human population is growing faster, and there is a lot of evolution in the field of science. All this together is making life run at an unimaginable speed, and hence most of us find it difficult to maintain a emotional balance or to maintain the equilibrium of our mind. Now, what exactly is counseling then? Life is full of anger, stress, anxiety, and challenges. When one feels uncomfortable or one is overwhelmed with all these challenges, she seeks to resort some kind of peace from some professionally trained individual. And when a person wants to discuss these issues, he also wants some kind of confidentiality. So he is looking out for peace, but he wants this to happen in a confidential setting. So this process is called as counseling. Now, living is a process of continuous adjustment. We all know we all have to adjust in different walks of life, and our lifestyles today do not suit these changing conditions, especially during the past few months. I can say during the time of this pandemic, we all have seen a drastic change. None of us living has ever faced a pandemic before, and life has become very difficult to adjust. So the one who could adjust in this kind of situation has really fared well, and has tried to make a good living in the past 1 year. Though there are a lot of scientific advances and technological advances, conflicts in life has have increased. They have multiplied, and there is a problem of decision making, or all the confusions and conflicts in our mind have grown exponentially. So what counseling does? Basically, counseling describes how a person functions effectively or ineffectively in one or more of the following dimensions, like need, satisfaction, stress, and some coping processes. Sometimes he also finds problem with interpersonal relationships. He is not well versed with skills at managing relationships with other people. Then there are certain things which are also related to his personality. Counseling at length talks about individuals who are unable to function effectively and hence they face number of problems. There are people who satisfy their needs in not in an appropriate manner, but with counseling they will be able to do so. They will be able to deal with their pressure efficiently. They can handle their emotional as well as emotional reactions effectively. They will be able to learn tasks that are appropriate to their developmental stage. And with counseling, there will be meaningful social interactions and interpersonal relationships. And overall, they will show a positive attribute. There are also certain characteristics of counseling. That is, counseling is concerned with normal problems rather than mental health problems. It is more concerned with present events than with those of the past. It is more concerned with conscious, rational thinking than with unconscious and irrational functioning of the brain. It is also concerned with the individual's role function in different settings wherein choices are to be made and person has to take a particular decision. Basically, counseling is an opportunity for an individual to talk over with a trained and objective person from whom a new perspective on the situation can be gained. So, a counselor basically empowers a person to take adequate decision by going through the number of available options. And the person or the client, he becomes capable in solving his problems. So, in short, counseling promotes growth and it helps to express feelings in a safe, supportive, and non judgmental atmosphere. It identifies and sorts out problems. It identifies the long standing pattern of behavior and it helps an individual to solve problems by developing a new perspective to look at the things. It also helps in improving coping skills, identify and achieve goals, and help recognize internal worth and examine the way one sees oneself. So, through counseling, an individual develops a different perspective towards himself and also towards the world around him. Well, considering about school counseling now, we are going to see here what exactly school counseling ought to be and not what exactly is practiced in our country. So the first thing that comes to our mind is that school counseling is still a very new area in our country. There is very little awareness about the roles and responsibilities of a school counselor. Now, what has been traditionally happening in our schools is that there are teachers who try and find out ways and means of identifying the problems of the students. Number of times the teachers today have become so competent that they are able to find out solutions or give counseling to the students through their experience. But they are not following any scientific way of counseling. They are just trying to practice counseling by whatever good way they know or however it is possible. But owing to their experience, they are able to solve their problems, and hence today there is a lot of resistance in schools to have a dedicated school counselor for students. Let us now see who is a school counselor. So, a school counselor is a counselor and an educator. The professional school counselors are certified licensed educators with at least a minimum of master's degree in school counseling. This makes them uniquely qualified to address all students' academic, personal, social, and career development needs by designing, implementing, evaluating, and enhancing a comprehensive school counseling program that promotes and enhances students' success. This counselor provides academic, career, college access, and personal social competencies to the students. The counselor basically develops a school counseling curriculum, lessons, and he also is responsible for various training programs for teachers. The interventions include culturally competent group and individual counseling. School counselors use specific skills in advocacy, leadership, systemic change, technology. Then they bring in a lot of advancements in the school leadership, equity assessment, team building, and many other things. They also try to collaborate with stakeholders. That is, they try to basically communicate between the stakeholders, teachers, and parents for the efficient growth of the students. Through leadership, advocacy, and collaborations, professional school counselors promote equity and access to a very effective and rigorous educational experience for all students. Professional school counselors support a safe learning environment and work to safeguard the human right of all members of the school community. That is, they work in culturally relevant environment. They try to create environment that is conducive for effective learning. So friends, in our next sessions, we will be studying something about the roles and responsibilities of a counselor, and also we are going to study the system of school counseling. Thanks a lot for watching.